bit of delay. We were waiting for hours to come into the studio, and in the studio with us today we have Madam Kate. She's part of the Voices, but I think this is part of her maiden appearance on the Voices. Although she has been part of the planning and the scripting and whatever. Welcome, Madam Kate.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So we've already discussed the topic of the day, which is the UN at 80. We discussed the issues with Dr. God Knows, Ambassador God Knows Igali. We talked about the Gaza and Palestinian war and other possible solutions that we could be taking. Now let's move on. Although we know how we usually do it here, we usually do our contemporary issues before the topic of today. But our guest was in how will I call it, in a bit of a tight time, has other commitments, so we had to just do that from the beginning of the program. So now let's move to our discussions that we have. So ladies, I think within the week, was it on Monday, the NDLEA boss, Buba Marwa, because of the growing concerns over rising cases of drug abuse among young people, it has prompted calls for parents to take a more proactive, role in safeguarding their children. So the NDLEA boss, Buba Marwa, is urging families to keep drug test kits, the drug test kits at home, as an early preventive measures against addiction, and this raises critical, questions rather. So, my question now. Let me start with Madam Kate. My question is, how effective can this drug test kit at home be in detecting, early signs of substance abuse?
Okay. I think what brought about him making this statement is what was on social media. Secondary students engaging in smoking, taking substances that are dangerous to their health. Because some of these things, even after the producers of it, will tell you that whoever smokers are liable to die young. So at a tender age, taking this when your liver, your heart is not well developed, and then this substance are already introduced in the system. So you can imagine the short lifespan for those kids. So I think putting the test kits, as he said, will really, really help, because some parents don't even know what their kids are up to. So if I have a test kit at home and I make it a routine that every weekend I'm going to make a test, and then by the time something is introduced in the system, I can arrest it. But when you allow the kids that maybe it has got into their system and they are already addicted to it, because I have a friend, I don't know, she may be watching this program, that her only child is a victim of this. This child should be in his early 20s, and as it is, he has gone into so many rehabilitation centers, which they can't help. He's willing to, but what is in his system is already resisting any treatment you are giving. So I think we're also advised to go back to the NDLA again, because they have what it takes to know the percentage of what is in the system and how to clean the system with other drugs again. So you could imagine what is happening within the child system. So if you have a test strip at home, you will be able to know when that substance is introduced into the child, and you will try as a parent introduce, like we, the Northerners that are well cultured. Sometimes you call your family. If it's something you cannot handle within yourself, within the family, you call your family, you go to the church, go to the mosque, call people you respect, and then see how you can intervene for the future of the child this time around. Because when it gets bad, it's you that will suffer it. Yes. It's the parent that usually suffer these things. Yes. So I think is a call well to be appreciated. Yes. So maybe some parents will not understand how to go about it. So I think the NDLA needs to liaise with the National orientation agency for sensitization on where to get those test strips and how to go about it. That's another thing.
Joanna, what do you think?
I was going to ask her if she mentioned something about a weekly testing.
Routine, yes.
Do you think Nigerian parents are ready for this extra added responsibility?
If you're not willing for it, at the end of the day, it will be a thing that you will be in the hospital on a daily basis. So it's either you provide the resources and then make yourself too available.
Yes.
We all go to work. Yes, you can hustle from Monday to Friday. Saturday, if you can make it, is every Saturday or Sunday that I can be taking this test. It will, when the child is even aware that things like that are going on in my home.
Yes.
When friends try to introduce them, because at that stage they are already aware of the family where they are coming from, and there is already fear between that child with his parents, that there is a boundary that you cannot cross.
I think I can relate to what Madam Kate is saying. I think during the time when we're in school, when we ladies, young ladies like us in school, they have boyfriends. You see, they buy them dresses, phones, provisions, different kind of things.
And some of us cannot do that.
I can't even try.
Yes, because you will be asked where you get it from. Yes, where do you get it?
I'll account for, because my parents know the amount of money they send to me in school, right? So they know what I can buy and what I can't buy.
Exactly.
What I can afford with it and what I can't afford with it.
Exactly.
So when I come in with something that the money they send to me monthly, my monthly allowance cannot buy it, I'm in trouble.
You answer questions.
You answer questions. So
Exactly.
I think this is when you know the kind of home
you're coming from,
it kind of eases this substance abuse and other immoral
because most
acts.
of them are being introduced into it by their friends.
Yes.
Yeah, because I have a case of people saying the child was doing okay, and then when he just started university, he met people that are already coming from homes that were not being supervised, and they've been introduced into it before getting to the university. Okay, your child is already exposed to such people as his own friends, so he will assume whatever they are doing is something that he can also try. But when he knows that in my home I've already been taught about this and the danger of it, and my mom or my dad usually check to know, if he won't try it, because he will know the repercussion of whatever any decision he's taking in that school.
Well, and another thing is, I think it's not just about peer pressure. When we look at it, okay, there's a story that happened in my school, right? This boy I think he was in from 100 level to 400 level. I don't want to call him holier than thou, but he was a very, very, very good boy from a very good home, very good background, good home training. And he's in school, right? And he has been reading relentlessly, working hard to get his results right. And in the same act, he's trying to, impact the good morals he has on his friends and his roommates. But you know how faith can be so, I don't know, fickle? I don't know I'm looking for a word for it. But you know how things can be. So he got into a room by his 400 level, and then the roommates were bad company, right? Now he was being pressured, but he got out of the pressure. He was living his life differently and theirs differently. I think on his final exams, was it his food? I think some of these substance they use it to cook.
You cook with it.
Yes. So they offered him something he never ever, because he gives them food whenever he cooks. He gives them food. So he thought, okay, it's the same thing. Not knowing that they had already planned that, we'll deal with you. You want to form as if you don't, because they've offered him these substances times without number. And he refused. So at the end of the day, he ate the food and then he got knocked out. Now, people, somebody that is very good, forced to come into the example and all that. Some of the lecturers noted, and some of the students because he used to act as a tutor.
Yes.
Some of the students he used to coach were looking out for him. And where is he? And some decided to go check him out. They went there, they found him passed out. They went there with security. They thought it was he is sick and all that, so they took him to the hospital. I know things like this. Some of these people that are used to it, they have their ways that they don't get caught.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, they went to the hospital, and that's when the doctor confirmed to them that there's drugs in his system. Substance abuse. The school got furious. In fact, it was a big whole case, and then he was dismissed from school and rusticated.
Prosecute.
Now look at the future of this young man.
How do you explain that this is your first time?
How do
and
you
it wasn't
explain that you
even
don't even
intentional?
know
Yes.
that you have it in your system? And
But
the amount
the drug test done by the NDLA will explain this. Can also say the percentage of it and whether this is his first time or not. I
Or
think
not.
they can.
I
Yes.
think,
That's okay.
I think recent technologies is actually helping with such things, because this happened, I think, about 10 years ago,
Which
which was far. So
he's the present director. That's Buba Marwa.
Yes.
I think he's the one making a lot of reform that will know even what these guys are up to. He's coming into that. The NDLA has changed a lot of things, because before then we don't even know they usually treat people.
Yes.
All we know is that they go after people.
People and
They
catch
Yeah.
them.
We usually see them on the road
Road,
with their red vest,
right.
looking, searching, and
Yeah.
all that. I can remember when I was going for my youth service. I had this PUD, peptic ulcer disease. It was really, really chronic. I was diagnosed with one this cocodamol. I don't know if people know it. It's a combination. I don't want to call the name on it, but when I got there, I was nearly harassed. I don't know, God so kind, I had my prescription in my bag from the rest of Abuja Teaching Hospital. And that's when I gave them the prescription. They read the prescription and they actually saw it there. And the man was like, "Are you sure you're taking one?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm taking only one. I don't even like medicine. So why would I take
So
more
most
than
of these
one?"
things is what is happening in society now.
Yes.
I have a neighbor that may God rest her soul, she's late now, but she was high on a certain painkiller. So I know when I had surgery, that painkiller, was given to
It's
me.
prescribed, yes.
Yes, was given to me when there was pain, when I woke up and everything.
Yes.
But this was what another person was using as a drug. So I kept asking, up to date, I've not gotten the reason why somebody would go on that painkiller. It's actually meant for ulcer. I'm trying to relate to what you just said
Yes.
now. And then these are things that they will be choking their laps. If you see them, you can't even eat. So I don't understand why they abuse. I think we need to be educated. They need to educate us on most of these things and the effects of it
Yes.
in the system. The mother was a nurse, and then the mother said it started from them treating her with ulcer.
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could start from when you are treating a particular kind of pain.
illness,
Uh-huh.
yes.
You won't be able. It now comes to a time whereby you won't be able to manage that pain until you have taken that.
And then sometimes you even move past
and then
that,
after,
but
yes,
you're still
after
just
moving
addicted
past it,
to.
now your system is already addicted
Used
to
to,
it, so you
yes.
just have to take
So I think the physicians are really trying now, because they have to explain to you the
Why?
effect of whatever. I think most of the government hospital, I don't know for private, because I'm a fan of the government hospital, most especially the teaching hospital. They will explain to you whatever they are giving you, tablet, they will like, okay, we're giving you this for this. But when it's out, you don't need to take it again because it can be addictive. So at least they are also trying in their own way to educate us and sensitize
So
people
are
about
parents really prepared to take on this added responsibility in the fight against drug addiction?
I think it should be something, because I can say that if you are monitoring your child and then you really want the future of that child to be good as expected, that he will not be a nuisance to the society or yourself, you need to do something, and then you need to be ready for it. I will say it with myself. I always observe my child at home. I know when there are some movies that I'll tell my child, this movie is not for you.
Yes.
You don't do it. So I observed one day. In fact, I have to it was a problem that I have to take the child back to the hospital again, because I beat him to a state that we've discussed this. Why should you do it again? So he now said, no, he's a child in his school that asks him to go home and watch so movie on so channel. You get it?
Yes.
And these are adult films. So what is the child trying to learn? So I now call the attention of that school where they are. I won't lie to you, this September, because of that, I have to remove, because I observe to the school, the child is coming from a home a very old home, so the mother is not always available. The father, I said, I can be very busy, but I have to know what goes around my child. Because if I'm busy now, I may not be busy at my old age, which is going to be a problem
That's true. That's
to
true.
me and other people. So you have to create time, know this child, observe them. If these kids that I saw the video, it was quite disgusting. How can a child in secondary school smoking like someone that,
chimney.
yes. So if this child is coming from home, and if these parents, even if these parents are smokers, they would not encourage that for their children.
Yes.
But I've witnessed with my eyes. I don't know. Do we have child protection services in Nigeria? I really, 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 really need
So
to
there's
know
a
if
place.
they are, if they. It's not just about having them. Are they working? I've used my 2 eyes just last month. Okay, I think about 2 years ago. The father is late. Where I lived before was in the corners before coming back to Abuja, and I know and I have seen a man who smokes, and this is not it's not just smoking nicotine. I'm talking about the hard substance. When he smokes, he passes it to his 2-year-old son. I saw it with my 2 eyes. I'm telling you the truth.
Oh wow.
And the funniest thing, apart from that, there are other little substances like tablets that when he takes it, gives the boy. At the end of the man got late. He died. Now I saw this boy going
Struggle.
through withdrawal syndrome.
And sometimes it kills them.
And the funniest thing is
Yeah.
the mother don't even know where to start. She thinks he's just throwing tantrum. So when he starts, she beats him. She spanks him and then she sends him inside. But he cries, he scratches, he shouts, he screams. People think he's just throwing tantrums. Do you understand? But it is and people and those people they
knows the importance, knows what that music was saying. So they should find a way of always relating to these young people. The way they will understand, not just sending message that yes, is a news, you're putting it on the news. How many of these young people go sit down to watch news?
This thing, reach up to now here in Abuja, I saw a man. I've not seen, but I heard. I not see. I heard that the man, whenever he's taking alcohol, when he takes, he gives a sip to his son. When he takes, he gives a sip to his son. So, what are these parents trying to prove to their children?
Like I'm also from the north, so in our areas, you will see where I don't know if it's poverty, and sometimes I try to relate it to poverty because a child grew up in a home where they make this local drink, local alcohol.
Yes.
They call it brukutu.
Yes.
So this brukutu now is something that when he just wake up, wash his face, they will fetch it and give him to drink because that's the only thing they have. They are trying to make a life from it and then they feed their kids with it. So you see them growing up with it. In fact, for some of us, the villages where we come from, you will see them. They'll tell you that this child is sick, not knowing that before you know it, their liver is already damaged.
Yes.
And so you see it coming out on their faces with black spots.
Yes.
And you say, no, what is this so person child that this old woman in this house that is trying to, not knowing that those are the effect of these things that these kids were introduced to at an early age. Their liver were not, if you observe very well, even medically, there are drugs that is mentally for kids.
Yes.
Because if you can give a paracetamol, I understand that. I have a 4-year-old in my house. When I wanted giving him a tablet, breaking a tablet of paracetamol, the pharmacist said no, that their liver are still tender. That you should get the one made for them, and then let's use the meal that is supposed to go into his system. So you can imagine that same child that not up to that age is going through brukutu, going to alcohol, a strong alcohol in his system. So what happens to the liver? So we should be wary of most of these things.
If we continue discussing this, it's going to take the whole lot of time.
But it's something that parents need to look into. Please have time for your kids. Check their bags. Check what they watch. Don't just sit down in a room and assume that child is. There are some music. I hear my son sing. I know he doesn't know it, but the words are very terrible. That I don't know how he got to sing it. So it's something that we really need to work on. Most of these movies, most of these music, the words are already teaching these children what they are not supposed to know. at that certain
In
age.
in a nutshell, right? I think this new age, or should I call them Gen Z parents? I know I am new age, right?
Yeah.
I am new age,
So we
but I
are,
feel like I'm more a traditional new age. Because there are some things I
people
see
will
that
call
you
me that.
usually shout in Yoruba. I'll be like, ha!
Because the culture you were brought
Yeah,
up with.
brought up.
I was telling
Yes.
somebody yesterday, I said, see, when you said, I said, no, not for me. I'm a northerner. We are well cultured. You don't just sit down and do some things. People will start talking. And when you say, no, I'm not worried, I'm not bothered about what anyone
People
thinks
say.
of me, we are product of society. So if we really want the future of these children to be good, we should have time to always check up on what they do, what goes around in their life. Not just sitting down and assuming as a parent you bring alcohol into your home, you're taking it. What are you teaching the child? He will one day when he start buying things for himself, he will definitely go for that alcohol because
he
I have
knows
seen
that
my
you have
mother.
seen your
If something
mother,
that is
yes.
bad, my mother couldn't have gone for it. So if my mother can take it, I
can.
should be able to take it because it's something that have helped my mother got to where she is. Because that's the effect of it. So if you are a smoker, you smoke in the house and you think your children are not watching, they are seeing what happens. They are saying, so please, parents, if we really want the future of these children to be good, just the way our own parent has passed on to us, because most of these things these Gen Z parents are doing, they are things that they learn on their own, learn on the internet, the AI stuff.
Yes.
Because there's no parent, if it is Nigeria, there's no parent in Nigeria, any region or north, southwest that will encourage his child to go under alcohol below the age of 18 or 20. So we should look into that and help the future of these children.
That's Madam Kate, you have really, I don't know if you have finished the topic. You have finished work.
We are in it together.
So let's move to the second discussion of today. So in recent times, many parents and caregivers have raised concerns about children entering puberty much earlier than expected. And this has led to many important questions. And one of the questions is why are we seeing girls as young as 7 beginning to menstruate? As young as 7, Madam Kate.
7.
7.
When the child has not even discovered himself, he's
7
still a
is quite
child.
a
7
young
is
age.
too young.
Yeah. Me, I've seen 10. And when the mother was saying at 10, I was like, wow. I was still doubting it, but it was coming from. So even if at 10, some of us were like, so what could be the cause? Maybe what we eat?
There are many, during the time of our own, our parents were like, till we started at the age of 18.
I started at 16. So if I started at 16 and then I'm seeing somebody below 10.
Not even 10. If it were 10, that's 3 years to 10.
So I think the medical team, our physician
research
needs to be done on this so that we'll know what causes this and what is the health implication.
Yes. I'll say this again, and I know our viewers will be like, what is with Madam Oyibo and medical dramas? But I feel like medical dramas give me insight, even though not all. It's fiction.
Yes.
There are some things that are not actually true, but they usually give me insight on some of these things. I realized that there's an episode I watched in one of these medical dramas where two kids were having some kind of symptoms. So at the end of the day, they tested them and they realized that the hormones meant for puberty are high. Do you understand? The boy was about, I think 4 years or 5 years old, and the girl was 7. And she had started menstruating. In fact, when she started bleeding, they thought it was maybe like a GI problem or maybe, reproductive or cervical problem. So they tested for cancer, they tested for so many other sicknesses, and it wasn't found. At the end of the day, they realized that the tissue in the blood that they saw actually has it's for menstruation and not for any other condition. The boy was tested and he has too much testosterone, and to the extent that he was even touching a nurse that is even older than him inappropriately. So at the end of the day, they started looking for causes for how such things can happen. How can they enter puberty at such tender age?
It's also boils down on parents too. what
the
they
end
see.
of
What
the
they
day,
see.
Yes.
at the end of the day, they realize that there are some there the man was actually pursuing a young lady. That's their father was actually pursuing a young lady. So he's bound, right? He's bound. So in the course of wanting to show the lady that he's a fine, handsome young man, he started using some of these creams for hair growth and all that, so that some of this thing for hair growth and all that, and he started using some form of enlargement creams, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. we do.
So in the extent, sometimes when he used them, he doesn't wash his hands when the children come close to him, you know. And these are the things that the creams, the work the creams are supposed to do is to work on his hormones, to help him grow those hair and do all those.
So they're now working on the
So
boy.
now, after working on him, you know, he doesn't wash his hand,
Just-
and they come close to him, so they get in contact
The
with
effect
this
of
thing.
it.
So the effect of it. So now, why I'm giving this story or this example of this episode of this medical drama I have watched is that could it be that some of these things that we use, maybe for skincare, for makeup, for hair growth, hair removal and all that, does it contribute to our children, our young children, coming into this very early
Very
stage of puberty?
So I can't explain. I think it has to be explained by the
By
Yes.
medical
people.
experts.
But then on the other side, too, I think I've seen a situation where a 10-year-old collected, I've heard about it, and it's somebody, as in, it's not someone that could lie. If some way you can tell me that at so age, my younger brother or my older brother was involved with women to the extent that the money that was given for this, that child at that age have to lodge in a hotel with a lady. Maybe for her life or for her mental health, whatever. So but then some of death health, whatever. So but then some of death. But then some of them are not doing death. But then some of them are not doing well, because if you find yourself in that situation, you have to act decent. Most especially when you have kids that are looking up to you. You are their role model. But then when you bring a man into a home and you lock the room, even when you send the children out, what are you doing in that room? They will be very, very inquisitive to know what is really happening in that room. They see you with a man always. Things.
Can happen.
And so they will,
Forget to
lock the door and things like that. So by the time these children start seeing that, they will want to explode. They want to explore what is really happening. Let's try. There are some situations you will see them being caught in the act by their kids. Mentally, you have damaged the brain of that child, because that child will want to, at that age, they want to try everything around them.
Yes.
Okay, this is what I see my mother doing, and that man has not stopped coming. He keeps coming to your house.
Sometimes it's not even about a man coming in. I've seen a situation. I teach before. I used to teach, and during the course of my teaching, I was going to the bathroom to urinate. God so kind, the teacher's bathroom, the school did it intentionally. Usually, because sometimes because female teachers are more. Sometimes you see female teachers, they are really, really wary of where they, ease themselves because of infections and all that. But at the end of the day, I think the students were, I don't know, you know how kids can be, even if they know that they want to try, be like, okay, no teacher is coming. So I went to ease myself, and I just saw them, the two of them, in the bathroom. God so kind, they've not done anything. They've already gotten themselves naked. It was the boy that was trying to, persuade the girl. And they wanted to run. I caught them. The boy was fighting. That day, I knew that all the food I
And
ate
this is like
I have to work on
primary
this.
school.
It's a primary school. One was the boy was in, I think, they were both in nursery too. Yes. In nursery too.
So this kids,
This is not even primary. This is nursery too. They were both in nursery too. So at the end of the day, we found out that the parents, they are not really, because the boy is an only child, so they believe that every time the boy is sleeping, so even when the boy sleeps in the same room with them,
which was wrong.
they do whatever they want to do. They leave the room open. They tell parents that even kiss your wife, show romance,
Before
that you
them,
should
it's wrong.
stop it.
Yeah.
Some parents were like, okay, if I don't do this in front of them, how would they know that they are going to take care of their...
Did you see your parent doing it when you were growing up?
I used to see my...
Somebody will be like, I've never seen them. How are they? It's not that we know what happens before you get pregnant. And then they're damaging the brain of these children with all these things.
So they told them that no, some parents were, especially, that's what I'm talking about new age parents. Maybe we're talking about this like drug.
Those ones that will go and fight that you.
And then she just saw me and I look at them. That's why people have not given birth. Because you don't know the pain of giving birth. That's why you can imagine. And many
parents
things
are the
like
cause
that.
of most of these things. The decay in the upbringing now is caused by parents. Most parents don't want you to spank their children. They don't want you to talk. Anywhere I'm dropping my child, my words, or whoever that is under me, I will tell them. Spiritually, my Bible tells me that when you spare you spoil the child. So please, this is what works. When the child is not afraid of you, you won't get even result from
Somebody
you.
even said, so far as the teacher did not injure your child or send your child to the hospital, allow them to correct your child as it should.
Yes.
But honey, a case even happened before we go. A case even happened where a group of boys in the class I was teaching pushed a boy and the boy broke his teeth. At the end of the day, they punished the group of boys. The father of the boy came to the school. I, as a form teacher and the head teacher, we begged the father. We said, okay, please, this is what happened. We are sorry, please. But we have taken the boy to the hospital. This are the medication. He was like, no, there's no need. It's even a milk tea, so we can grow another one.
Yeah.
There was no need for you to even do all that. Thank you so much, though. Thank you so much. He asked the boy, are you feeling better? I said, he's feeling better. Will you be able to come to school? They even told him that if he can't come to school, there's no problem. That they'll send his notes and whatever to him. He said, no problem. If he can come to school tomorrow, we'll allow him to come to school, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the day, the children, the group of boys,
that were punished.
They were punished.
The parents
flogged them. So there was a boy among these people. The boy plays rough. He's a stickler. He's a sickler, right? Now, the sole pusher of this boy that broke his teeth is this same boy.
No, they are like that.
So at the end of the day, they punished all of them. The boy went home. Not like he was sick or anything. He came home. You know some children, they will tell you whatever that happened in school. The good, the bad, the ugly, they don't care. They went, no, mommy, they punished us today. They flogged me. This and that. He was trying to show that I dodged it. They didn't even pay me. And the next thing, mother was in school.
I will call the other parents.
The one that's forgave.
The one that you
call. That's how they called the other parents.
Blah
blah blah blah blah. The other parents came in. Where is Auntie Patty? Where is Auntie Patty? She came breaking in like a bull. Headmistress called. What happened? The head teacher rather. Why you Ricky? What happened? They beat each other. Now some of these schools, especially private, they also have problems. But I think that's a bigger discussion for another day. Let me give you an insight. You see that they want to please the parents.
Even with what
at the detriment of your teacher's welfare. You understand? Now, instead of you to understand that, okay, explain to the mother, okay, we are sorry that we hit your child, that the child is a sickler. But at the end of the day, this is what the child did. That day I was not even feeling fine.
Those are bullies that if
the question I wanted to ask
boys.
the mother the other day was that now you are complaining that they hit your child because he's a sickler. But what of the child that his teeth and gum was mangled yesterday by him, your son, and other boys in the class? What is the parent supposed to come and do in school? Well, that's a story. That's a discussion for another day. We've already lost track of time. The discussion was getting, in fact, it has gotten much more interesting. But I think this is where we'll have to drop the ball, right, ladies?
Yes, well, thank you. Good
morning. Thank you, Madam Kate. Richard, thank you so much for coming to the studio this morning. Just like I said, she has been one of us. It's just that she has been on the sidelines guiding us through the scripting and everything. But today she has decided to grace us with her beautiful presence. And thank you so much for coming into the studio. I know it wasn't easy getting to this place.
It wasn't.
But
the traffic,
yes.
other things.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank
It has
you.
been me, Bulus, Joanna Ray, and Madam Ketridge, and of course myself, Fatima Abubakar Oyibo. We're saying good morning and bye for now.